Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Master Race Cars E-Challenge Round 4 here at the Portland E-Prix, the season finale of this series. Once again, sanctioned by New Dimension Racing and brought to you by us here at Sim Broadcast. So as you see there, we started this championship all the way back April 7th with the Mexico E-Prix and have seen a series of utter domination nearly from Imran Mazar, with New York being the first time he did not take a clean sweep of maximum points. But looking forward now to the final round of the championship, and we'll be getting the circuit up here for you. So as you see, there's the timings for us. The drivers have been doing a bit of free practice. That's just been coming to an end in the background. Qualifying starting shortly for all of them. The track, of course, is here at Portland. It's only 12 corners. And it's, I have to say, turn one is quite tricky. There's not really much to give drivers any indication the corner's coming other than the braking markers, so I wouldn't be too surprised in the race if they do miss those a little bit, or some of them get caught out and missed where the turn one and all the braking zone there can be very interesting. It will be a fun one to see. Of course, we have the qualifying duels as well with the top 8 drivers. The sprint race, which will be 15 laps, where the drivers have to use one attack mode, and then into the feature race, which is, of course, top 10 will be reversed and 2 attack modes available for, minimum. They have to use both attack modes there in the feature race of 24 laps. So, of course, your broadcast team here today, we are on a smaller team. Myself and Pete will be doing the commentary, but Pete will also be double handing it, doing the production side in the back as well, with Chris on that one. So Pete, say hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Pete, helpful as ever. So yeah,
sorry Tom, good to be here, and let's have a good one.
Yeah, it is. I know normally have 2 of us here in the commentary and then the 2 of you in the background. So I think I'll be doing the majority of the commentary here, with Pete jumping in where he is available and gets a minute behind, providing all this valuable information that I need to keep going.
I'm sure it'll be all right. We've got qualifying coming up in just a few moments' time. We've got some drivers on the track just waiting to end the pit lane, and we'll bring you the pictures just as soon as we can. Tom, just on the note of the broadcast, we've had a lot of different voices on the E-Challenge production this year.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I think off the top of my head, there's been 5 of us, is it, on the commentary? I've done
6
this
now.
Yeah, I've done 5 rounds. Travis did 1. We had Andy Olsen, I know, at least for 1, and then you were here. And yeah, I think there was another driver for round 2, which was commentators for round 2, wasn't there? That neither Travis or I could attend that one, unfortunately. So Travis, if everyone's wondering, is suffering a little bit of a concussion. He had a fight with a cupboard door and lost horrendously. So, but he is okay. He's not completely out of it, and we'll have him back at some point.
Yeah, before we get going for the qualifying session, Tom, let's bring the audience up to speed with the championship standings. We've got the drivers' championship standings for you now.
Yeah, there we go. See Imran Mazar there right at the top. He only needs 20 points from this event to claim the championship. Adam Brown and Carlos Montoyotis are really fighting it out. 2 points difference. The fight for that second podium position is really on between those two. Nico Pantola, though, just 33 points behind Carlos, and is in a great position to really try and take advantage and get onto those podium finishing results. Now, just moving over to the team's championship standings here. There we go. Team Siders have been absolutely dominant there at the top with a 170-point lead into this event. I'm pretty sure that means they've already won the team's championships. Of course, Adam Brown representing Sim Broadcast and Carlos Montoyotis representing Yes Motorsport, really with the fight there for second, but Race Green Autosports also just behind there. So a 3-way fight for the second place there. It will be interesting to see who comes out on top there.
Super tight from P2 downwards. I'm quite surprised by that, to be honest, how close it's been, but also the dominance at the front, that huge lead at the front. But the qualifying session is go. Let's see what the drivers are doing.
Yeah, it is. I believe Adam Brown just starting his first lap here, braking well for turn 1, turning tightly, and is clipping those tyre wall in the on the inside. and doing really well getting out the corner, carrying a bit of speed. Did slide a little mid of turn 2, and as you see there, really sliding a lot. Remember, these cars, 350 kilowatts in something that's around 800 kilos, so really not very much weight at all, and not much in terms of aerodynamic grip, and not really much at all either on the mechanical element, but a lot of instant torque power available to the driver. So he's doing very good at sort of balancing it and keeping the flow going, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, this is this track doesn't have as many corners as some of the other tracks that we've had in the E-Challenge this season. But as you mentioned in the pre-show build-up, the corners that we do have are super tricky as Adam gets it a little bit sideways coming into this complex of corners and very, very far out wide to the barrier there onto the home straight. And this is going to be the first lap time that we will see in anger of any of the drivers here today, and it's a 1:04.57, so a quick lap there. So let's see who can get anywhere near it. Gabor nowhere near, actually. Well, just over a tenth off.
Yeah, jumping a bit the gun there, saying he's nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
Gabor, a man who we always expect right at the front. Bit of work to do there to catch Adam. Adam, of course, incredibly consistent nearly all the time we see him. So he's going to be a man, I think, to watch here. Definitely, he did get all the way through to the final duels last time round. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a couple of weeks ago now. But there we see it. I mean, we watched him go through the back section of turns 10, 11, and 12 at the end of that long back straight. And I have to say, the speed the drivers carry through there with the downforce and mechanical grip available to them, it is really, really good to see. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of time gained in the qualifying because of how much commitment and confidence you need getting through that section there. Roney there crossing the line, going into 7th position with a 1:07.61. So a bit of a spread of the drivers going through here. I mean, no one on a lap at the minute. Adam getting it a little bit wrong in his out lap there, going a bit over the line. I think Gabor is going to be the Adam or Gabor are going to be the next going across the finish line to actually start a lap. And I think just looking at that, Adam is a little bit further ahead than him round the lap. And as you see, end of the back straight now, that high commitment turning for 10 and 11 and using all of the track available to them as he turns now back onto the start finish straight. So straight on the throttle as hard as he can, running right out to the wall there, trying to use as much space as possible. Speeds here of up to 250 kilometers an hour, and there's your first indication of the corner of the 200 board, lifting off, getting on the brakes hard, clipping the apex wonderfully, getting the apex on the second hand very well as well, running on out all the way out to the barrier, using all the space available, really doing very strong there. Once again, at the 100 board, getting it nicely turned in, down to the apex, and running a little bit wide. Bit of a twitch mid-corner, I think he just hit the throttle a bit too high, lit up the tyres, but using all of the space available to him, really trying to get as close in on those apex as very possible, and is pretty excellent at tapping the tyres and not really having any effect on himself from there, but doing well. Running a little bit wide on the exit there, so he might lose a tiny bit on traction if you take this as a long run down through turn 9 all the way down to turn 10 here. You see him keeping it all the way on the right hand side there, 180 k's I think he got up to there, and then tucking it in very, very well, and just really showing us that he's got a lot of commitment in this car. Very confident through that section there, really just very minimal correction needed. A real excellent display of his ability. There's the run up to the line here as he does improve. He does a 1:04.21. A bit of a statement of intent there, Pete.
Yeah, Gabor went straight across the line behind him and only a tenth behind. But apart from the final apex there, very impressive from Adam Brown. Basically nailed every single apex except the final corner, but still able to lead out Gabor at the line. And remember, the drivers only get 2 shots in qualifying. And I think Gabor and Adam have done both of theirs. So there will not be a change between those two. We'll have to see if Imran Azar, who is leaving the pit lane now, can do anything on his final run.
Yeah, very, very well mentioned there. I've forgotten about that myself. Gabor, a man who we always expect to get into these qualifying duels and is currently sat there comfortably. Cyril Brissett going in and putting himself in 4th place. So most of the drivers here do have an opportunity into the shootout, the duels, simply because I think we only have about 10 to 12 drivers here for today. So there will be a large spread of them sort of into that final deciding factor here. Imran there going around. There you go. Mika Sarkinen, we believe, is currently on his... Oh, he's got that wrong then if he was on a lap. It's a bit of a mistake, but he's carried on. I think he's just going to tele pit there. As you see, he's got in the VR, and we have the supporters cam going there. Nico Patola here, then turning into turn 10. I think he might be on the lap because he is giving it some beans through there. Running out, he's on the out lap, so fine. We're getting the temperature in the tyres, I've been told. And there you go, the drive to the line. He wants to really use absolutely everything he can and really extend at that final corner to get as much speed up as he can on the run to the line. There you go, doing 170, I think it's miles an hour on that screen there. Oh, huge twitch on the way in. I don't know whether that was lag or if it was real, but a bit all over the place there and running very, very well. Pete, I don't know if you want to talk us through this lap.
I can do. I also want to make a note that Imran Azar's just started his final lap just behind as well. Nico's got 2 laps to get in this time, so he's not got a lot of time left on the clock to actually get around to start his second flyer. So he really does have to nail this one. And already you can see, comparing the driving styles between Nico and Adam, it's a twitch fest going on here. Nico's really struggling to get the power down through the wheels of the EVO Challenger. But let's see how the lap progresses. And we'll keep an eye on Imran behind, who seems to be doing quite a nice job as Nico breaks down hard into the chicane. It's quite a wide chicane, but still very, very difficult. And then out into the home straight for the final time in this session for Nico. Let's see where he can slot into onto the board. He will just have enough time to get around to do 1 extra lap if he wants to, but he'll have to commit to it now. He goes into P7. And Imran Azar is going to cross the line and go P3 only. So it looks like, unless Nico Pantola can improve or Roni can improve, that Adam Brown might have stolen a pole position here, Tom.
Yeah, I have to say, I think while Roni does have the opportunity to improve, I don't think he's going to get anywhere near Adam. Adam is right at the top there. The top 3, as I could call them, the usual suspects. But Carlos Monteotis a little bit further down than I'd probably expect him to be, 1.5 seconds off the pace of Adam, and that's not where he wants to be, especially if he's going to be fighting Adam for that second place. He's already at the disadvantage going into this, so really needs a much stronger qualifying going on here. Of course, whoever ends up in 8th place will be taking on Adam for the first of the qualifying. Jules Roni very committed into turn 1, completely overshot it, did very well to keep hold of it, and there we go. Just the issue I mentioned with these cars is when you spin up the rears, they just go round. So that is him out of his opportunities for getting any improvement here. So Nico here coming out, I think. Oh, he's on an out lap now, sorry. Coming out, I think that was turn 7 and 8 he was going through. Yeah, turn 9 now onto the back straight. That bump on the back there, if the car feels slightly unbalanced when you go across that little bump down the back straight, it can cause some problems. I know from my little bit of short testing I did, caused me a few issues, but these drivers probably a bit more practice and they're used to this car than I am. But here we go. Nico Patola now running out, the final man, I believe, on track, coming up to the finish line to start his or finish his final attempt. Was it? I think no, start his final
starting.
attempt. What am I on about? Getting very close to the inside on both apexes, doing well under power, keeping the car pointing pretty much the right direction. Very, very committed through there and using all of the track available. Getting down nicely to the apex. Doesn't get too tight as if to try and rub some more speed, but keeping the car very tight and flowing very nicely through that segment there of 4 and 5, which the corners just carried on going round and round and round. A long turn 6 now into back on our brakes hard for a tight turn 7. Able to get to the apex nicely, not hitting any of the bumps or even on the run out, so he's able to really maximize the space as possible. Turn 8 and into turn 9 now. The long sweeping back and here up to 170 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour before getting onto the brakes, turning in tight. Oh, big flow. Oh, he's overcooked that completely, and that's not gone well for him at all. Nico Pantola not going to be able to improve there, and that's what I was on about earlier, where that's where it's really going to show you the difference in the confidence and commitment and the car control the drivers have going in there, Pete.
Yeah, and that means that Adam Brown has got pole position by 14 hundredths of a second over Gabor Gür, the number 1 car there. Imran Azar, P3, Cyril Basset in P4, Timu Sarkinen, Carlos Montejoitis, Nico Pantola, and Daniel Balla will be in our Jules, Tom. So that's the 8 drivers that are going to make it through to the next stage of qualifying our Jules.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one. We're going to have the graphic up shortly for you just to show who's going to be against who. We're going to have sort of a couple minutes while they get everything sorted out, get everything set, ready to go. But Pete, I think a few surprises there. Some drivers not doing quite as well as we would have expected. A big outlier there, I think, Nico Pantola. He didn't have a great one qualifying session last time out either. He struggled. I think started pretty much all the way at the back, didn't he, Pete?
He did, but even though he completely botched that final attempt, he will get a chance in the duels. So, in a way, he was unlucky in quali, but he'll be glad to have made it into the top 8 to get through to our duels. Just 11 qualifiers today. Mika Sarkkinen, Skalm Roberts, and Roni Krompush, unfortunately, not making it through to our duels. We will see them on the grid for race 1, which is coming up soon. But first of all, we have the duels qualifying format, which will have the top 8 drivers paired up. And we'll get confirmation of those pairs in just a moment's time. Tom, it should be a good one.
Yeah, we'll get. I think just looking at the top of my head, I think Nico, even though he's gotten in, he's in 7th place, and if I remember correctly, that means he's going to be looking at Gabba in his first duel, which is going to be a big ask. A man who is our reigning champion, who is not going to be able to win it this year against Nico, who I believe came second last year or was right up there anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of those two is able to pull it out. It's, I think, where normally you see the faster drivers that you expect at the front end sort of ramp up their performances in the duels. Nico and Gabba are going to have to go straight out swinging. No sort of warming up into it. They just got to go give it everything straight away to see who comes out on top there.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to see the teammates. Only one of them can progress into the final. So, well, actually into the semi-final. Sorry. So we'll see what happens there. Will it be Gabor or Nico in that pairing? Nico was 3rd last season. Gabor, of course, won it with the number 1 there, I think. So, sorry, Azar won it last season. My bad. Sorry, Azar was 2nd last season. Gabor did take the number 1. So he will be obviously the number 1 seed going into that session. So I think we're just about ready to go, Tom. So we'll get confirmation of those duels very, very soon.
Yeah, just going in there now. We have it in the back. Got there eventually about who came where in last season. If anyone's still a little bit confused, Gabba won last season, which is why he's running the number 1. Imran Azar just missed out on it, and so he's ended up 2nd. And Nico took 3rd place last season. So the session has sort of been reset. The game instance has been reset, and so we're just waiting for the drivers of this first duel, who will be taking the track shortly, and we'll be seeing exactly who's going to face out between. I believe it's going to be Adam Brown and Daniel Balla to start with, and then we're going to be seeing how it progresses from there.
Yeah, so our first duel between Adam Brown and Daniel Balla, and that will set the first semi-final place up. Then it will be Cyril Basset and Teemu Sarkkinen, and then either of Imran Azar, Motojutis, Gabba, and Nico Pantola. So that's the sort of order that we'll be looking at in the background. So we'll get our first duel underway between Adam Brown and Daniel Balla in just a moment's time. I think Race Control are just pairing everybody up, and we will be going live very soon for the first of how many is it? I guess we get 7 duels? Yeah, we get 7 duels before we get the decider on our top 8 qualifiers. Those two are on the track in the background, so let's turn the cameras to them, Tom, and go for our first duel.
Yeah, pit just been given live for Adam, so he's able to sort of roll out now for his warm-up lap. I was going to have Daniel Balla coming out shortly onto the track, get a 10-second gap between both drivers, so it allows them to have a bit of spacing, so you don't end up with people trying to race each other during their qualifying duels, which would never end well, would it, for anyone? Let's be real. So Adam here just needs to go out there, keep himself nice and steady, keep his head in frame, and see what sort of lap he can put together. I think it's this. I won't say it's a gimme because it never is. Adam does have to put performance in, but definitely qualifying first in the overall qualifying session does have a bit more leeway for you, puts you in a bit of a stronger situation because you do go up against who is effectively the slowest person who makes it through to the duel. So does put Adam as clear favourite for this duel here as he starts coming into this sort of back section now. As you see, the highly speedy and twitchy final chicane there, which we saw Nico made a mistake on. And here we go, out now onto the start-finish straight, using all of the road available, getting the speed right on up now, getting up to 250, nearly 260 kilometers an hour as he crosses the line, doing about 278 kilometers an hour. We're getting on the brakes, getting very close, getting the car slowed down, but clipping both apexes absolutely perfectly and using all of the runoff that was available to him. Keeping it all the way on the left there, careful not to touch any of the speed bumps or tyres, and absolutely nailing that second mid-corner apex really well and sort of looping it back in again for turn 5 and using all of the road available and keeping it tight for turn 6. Turn in, clearly knows what he's doing and is able to carry as much speed as he's after. Very, very controlled first couple sections there. It's coming up now to the second split for Adam. You see through split 1, he's already over a second ahead, and split 2, he was absolutely on it again. So I imagine a bit of an advantage going in again for the final segment there. Clearly not as on it as he was for his flying lap. So done very well. And nearly a second and a half up at the end of the second section, and the run now to the finish line, getting speed all the way up there, doing really well speed and crossing the line with a 104.61. As you see, Daniel Balla now coming out of the final corner. He needed a lot to do in that final section. I don't know if he's going to have enough, and up to the line now, going to have it shortly, and there it is. Wasn't quite enough. A 106.81. Daniel Balla will be starting from 8th place in this for the actual race now. And we've got the next pair out on track, Pete.
Yeah, I think they're already making their way around. They've already left the pit lane. It's Cyril Bousset and Teemu Sarkkinen who are already on the track. I think it's Cyril Bousset out first. And then Teemu Sarkkinen will be following. So if you were going to be doing qualifying duels, Tom, would you want to be out first or second? Would you want to be able to gauge the lap time of the car in front and know whether to push or not, or would you just want to just be the first car on the track?
I think I'd want to be first, if I'm honest, Pete. I want to just get out there, have a clear road in front of me. Don't want to be distracted by seeing a car move in the distance. Just let me get there and get on with it myself. I know if I'm getting distracted, that's me being bad, which is not something that I would say I'd ever be bad at something. But I'm never a good qualifier. I think when we've done races together, I've always been there like, don't let me qualify, we will be last. So but I think definitely I'd want to be out first. Just let me at it, put my time down, and then I can just see how I've done compared to those around. Cyril Bousset, that while I've been talking absolute rubbish, has done an absolutely fantastic sort of first second. All bit of a twitch going on there, so that's going to hinder him big, because that's all the way down now onto the back straight. He's going to be losing out all the way through, as Teemu Sarkkinen doing a great job so far through that first segment. As you see, there is actually a quarter of a second ahead of Cyril Bousset, and is only going to, if he's able to get a good exit, which he has done there, or if he's able to get a better exit through this next couple of corners, is going to be in a much better position. Cyril Bousset now up to the start-finish line. He is down nearly half a second actually across the second segment, and does a 106.58. So all on Teemu Sarkkinen now to the finish line. Is he going to have held it through the final few corners there, or has he made a mistake? Let's see. As he crosses the line, he does a 105.39. So Teemu Sarkkinen will be progressing through to the second round.
Yeah, and next up we have the pairing of Imran Azar and Karolis Motojoitis. So those two are going to be going at it, and I think after the previous round, there's not really much to choose between these two. They've both had a smashing round 3, Tom.
Yeah, really, really excellent. Karolis had a fantastic race 2. Imran Azar was incredibly dominant through race 1, and for some reason Karolis was going down the route for collecting the attack boost. But here we go, Imran Azar now coming to the final corner, turning the car in, getting the car lit up and pointing straight, no overcorrections, no twitching, and on the run to the start-finish line.
Yeah, Adam Brown currently has the fastest lap in this session. Not that it matters, because this is the quarterfinal of the duels, but just bear in mind that Adam Brown, even so far with half the cars gone in this duels session, he still has the fastest lap of anyone. So let's see if either Imran Azar or Karolis Motojoitis can beat him. And even though it has absolutely no effect on the outcome of this duel, it's still fun to keep track of, Tom, as Azar smashes in a 24.3 first sector.
Yeah, it was a good first sector, but through that the long sweeping turn 6, he had a lot of time where the car was just sliding around, which is only going to lose time and hinder him. So it's not an ideal start from him. I do think, and I was about to say, I do think he's going to be ahead of Kels. And then we see Kels there is 4 tenths of a second down through the first sector alone. I've just clocked my camera. Imran did run a little wide there through the final, on the entry to the final corner. Was able to get away with it, luckily, but still half a second ahead of Caleb Montoyotis going into the second sector. As you see, crossing the line now with a 104.74. Not able to best Adam's time. So Adam's still currently the fastest runner. But here we go. Montoyotis now up to the line. Is he able to attack into that time and deficit that Imran Razar did? It was good effort, third fastest time, but not enough to knock Imran out. So Imran Razar will be progressing to the final round as we see the last groupings about to head on out shortly.
Yeah, and it's going to be a duel between Gabba and Nico Pantola, who is yet to join the track. No, there he is. Now he's joined. So, yeah, they will be allowed to set off now. Teammates in the final duel. That's always an interesting one.
Yeah, very interesting. Both Team Sidus drivers, but for some reason forgone the Team Sidus livery and have gone for a Sebastian Vettel helmet design on their car instead. Of course, Gabba also running the Sebastian Vettel helmet in the race as well in game. So it's very interesting ideas they've got going there. I mean, he's always had that helmet ever since I've seen him, at least for the last few years. I don't know how far back he's run that one for, but it's quite iconic now and is something I'd say I just sort of expect to see on him. As we see, he's using quite a bit of the old tires, trying to warm up some energy into this and getting it going. It's a bit of sliding. I think these two will provide quite a close duel. Drivers of very, very similar capabilities, both very, very quick. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. And I think this is going to be the one to watch for this first round anyway.
Well, it's definitely an interesting one because only one of these drivers will progress through. And my money's on Gabor, just because of how he did in the main qualifying session. Nico threw it away in his second lap, but let's see as Gabor goes on to the first couple of corners of his flying lap through the first sector nice and cleanly, and then off up to turn 4 now. Hard on the brakes, chuck it in. And well, the interesting thing about this track, Tom, compared to the other ones we've had this season, is there are a lot of tyres that are littering the apexes, and I think that could potentially come into play during the race when we have multiple cars going around at once. Hopefully not. I know that Michael Malik puts a lot of thought into the track designs for the replica circuits that you've come up with. Portland, a track I was not familiar with until the prep for this broadcast, but it looks like a really, really fun one, almost Sebring-esque in LFS looking.
Yeah, I have to say I did a little bit of driving in it myself, and it was good fun to drive. So just a bit of rundown for you. Nico Pantola struggling for the first sector, half a second down on Gabba. Gabba doing a great second sector as well, a 41.5, and the run up to the line here. Is he going to be able to knock Adam off the perch? No, he's not. Very close though, 104.69, and quite the gauntlet down for Nico, who is clearly struggling. He's really 7/10 of a second down, run a little wide there, gone a little bit twitchy. I wonder if he hasn't been able to put in the normal amount of practice we normally see from him, which is why he's struggling a bit here. But the run to the line now, is he going to be able to match him? I don't think so. And across the line, no, he's he's over a second down. He's lost a lot of time there. It's actually one of the slower drivers we've had for these qualifying duels. So that is the end of round one, and Nico Pantola, it will not be progressing further than that.
Yeah, well, we sort of predicted it after what happened at the end of the main qualifying session. But that is that. The duels, the quarterfinals are completed, and we'll be able to get confirmation of those results on the screen right now. It's Adam Brown versus Timu Sarkinen and Gabagua versus Imran Azar for the semi-finals. Tom, so some interesting pairings. So Adam Brown, the favourite certainly for the first one, but the second one, that's anything to play for. I think Timu Sarkinen is going to have to dig very deep or hope from an issue from Adam Brown to get the job done in this one.
Yeah, as you said, Pete, I think Timo's going to need an issue from Adam. Adam, though, while he's very quick, it would not be the first time in these qualifying duels he's made a slight mistake. We saw it, I believe, it was in round one, where he completely messed up turn one and ended up clobbering the wall on the outside. So it's going to be interesting to see as he's now drives away to start his outlap ready to go here. So going to be interesting to see if he's able to hold his nerve, if you will, and provide the lap here. My money overall would be on Adam in this one. He has proved very quick so far today, but it's going to be interesting to see what Team Sarkinen is able to do about that, Pete.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to bet against Adam at this point in the session. He's put in 3 completely flawless laps. By the looks of it, he had the fastest lap overall in the quarterfinals. 2 pretty flawless laps in the first qualifying session that we had. So Teemu Sarkinen, I wouldn't want to be in his shoes in this duel. I think it's a little bit stacked, but we'll see. Adam still has to deliver. Absolutely, he still has to put that lap time in, and you never know. That's what the duels format kind of encourages. It encourages, that ultimate performance on that single lap, and on this track, a single twitch can put you into a lot of bother.
Yeah, especially there's the slight bumps seemingly everywhere, which can always provide a lot of problems. But Adam now coming out of the final corner, the run to the start-finish line to start this flying lap. If he gets it right, he's going to have to put one more lap together as well for pole position. There we go, running quite a little bit deep, I think, for turn 2 there, but getting it round nicely. No real worries, though, and gets the acceleration out all the way to the edge, playing dicey with the speed bumps on the outside, which can do horrendous wiggles for your car, really upset the balance on it and everything. But seems very comfortable through that first that first complex there as we come out of turn 6. Car seeming very much pointing the way he wants it and very much under his control. The acceleration there out of turn 7 as he runs down to the start to that long back straight. Team Sarkinen having quite a good back section. Really, I think closest we've seen someone to Adam recently, only 3/10 of a second down. But Adam with a 41.6, not the fastest we've seen at the end of the second sector, but very committed there through that final one. 3/10 is still the gap between Team Sarkinen. Had a much better response in that second sector, but he's going to need to find a lot of time here in this back sector. I don't think he's found it, if I'm honest. He seems very squiggly, really. Team Sarkinen's had a horrendous exit down to the back straight. And Adam Brown again with a 104.65, very quick again. Team Sarkinen's going to have to have done a lot, and it's just not enough. He had a really, really poor, unfortunate final corner, just couldn't get the power down, which cost him greatly. But here we go. I think this could possibly have the potential for being even closer than and even more hotly contested than Nico versus Gabba. It's Imran Mazar versus Gabba, the man who has currently been dominating this championship versus the man who dominated it last year. It's going to be interesting to see exactly who comes out where. I say dominated it last year. It was quite a close one last year where Gabba just sort of reigned supreme into the final round. So really, really interesting. Pete, any ideas who's going to come out on top here?
Well, it's anybody's guess. If you had to go off of the first qualifying session, then your money would probably be on Gabba. He finished P2 in the first qualifying session. Imran Azar finished just behind him P3. So let's see. But yeah, the winner of this goes on to meet Adam Brown in the final of the duels. And at the moment, my money is on Gabba.
Yeah, I think you could call that one a strong bet. I mean, they're both teammates still, just like how Nico's was also a teammate. There's 3 of them in the Siders camp this year, I believe, if I'm correct. So going to be interesting to see how we all end up here. Imran Mazar, very clean first couple of corners. A little bit wide there, though, and very wide again. Missing the second apex. Wonder if he's worked out. If you run a little wider, you carry a bit more speed, but we'll have to see where he ends up on this first set of split times. There we go. A 24.69, not the fastest we've seen far through there. And he seems a bit hesitant to hit the apexes. I think this is quite uncharacteristic from Imran. He's not been there. But Gabba has done even worse. He's done a 24.93. Gabba seems to have had a bit of a nightmare through that first sector. But Imran Mazar, 41.88 in the second. Is Gabba able to respond to that? Is he able to get in there and get close to him? I almost feel like both drivers know how quick each other are and have been a bit cautious and a bit over Of course, Gabba closing the gap a little bit, but still 0.2 of a second down. Imran Mazar slid out onto the final corner, but how's he doing up to the line? A 105.24. The door is wide open for Gabba here. What's Gabba going to do? And run up to the line here. Long run. Going to be doing over 250 Ks all the way to the line there. Is he able to do it? No, 105.42. So a very, very close duel from those two. Not the sort of speed we'd expect from them. And it's just not come through to them. So into the finals now for our pole position will be between Adam Brown and Imran Mazar.
Yeah, and even in that semi-final shootout, Adam Brown still registering the fastest lap. Almost, well, actually, was it? Yeah, it was over half a second quicker than Imran Azar in that session. So absolutely mighty pace there from Adam Brown. So you've got to say that he's the favourite going in, as we have light rain recorded. The track is still dry, but I wonder what's going to happen as we get into the final duel here. The track has still been declared dry, so neither Adam nor Imran will have to come out on wet tyres just yet. But maybe that's a pre kind of warning for the start of race one. Who knows? Let's see what happens. Neither of them have been called to the circuit yet, so we'll keep an eye out. This is fascinating stuff as we head into the final.
Yeah, there's far fewer wind, I believe, going into this sector. So I don't think the rain should impact it too heavily. I think we will have dry qualifying, and then we'll be going for wet. If I was a guessing man, I'd say we'll probably be wet at some point in the first race. Interesting to see how that works out. Adam there, ready, pulled out, and is tele-pitted again. So be interesting to see what he comes out with. But will be one to watch definitely. There we go. He's back out the pits now. I think maybe just had to reset something. Imran Mazar keen to get up behind him and get going on this one. So any second now, I think. There we go. Adam Brown, green light to go out for his final warm-up lap of the qualifying duels. Imran Mazar being hold a little bit, of course. Pete, I know this is going to be a tight one. I'm going to assume you're going to bet on Adam for this one. I think I would too. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I wonder if there's going to be a curveball coming at the end of the outlap with the track declared wet, which I'm not sure what happens to the drivers would have to come in to get wet tyres, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it stays dry, my money is 100% on Adam Brown. He's proven so far in this first half of our of the action this evening that he's got exactly what it takes on one lap around here, and half a second advantage in the semi-finals over Imran. I don't think anybody can touch him today. He's absolutely on it.
Yeah, he's been incredibly consistent and stable so far in the qualifying. He's looked very composed with, especially against some of the big names. I won't say the big names he's done against, but he's done some great driving through the runs and done just, even though he hasn't had to really push it, he's been very consistent. I think all of his laps have been a 104.6, if I'm correct. But here we go. Adam now coming to start his final flying lap here of the qualifying sessions. On the brake about the 125 point, turning in nicely, hitting apex 1, very close to the second apex there, and using all of the road available to him, running all the way out there, and then all the way out to the left-hand side again, sort of skimming the tyres on the outside, touching the apex really well, holding it very tight, but then also running out and using all of the road available to him. Imran Mazar also started on the flying lap, so he's going again. Once again, not quite as wide as Adam was, not willing to take that risk, and also not quite as tight on the apexes as well. Definitely
look at that time from Adam, Tom.
Adam Brown absolutely flying, statement of intent for the first sector, and Imran Mazar hasn't quite responded, but it is a fantastic first sector. I think that's the two fastest first sectors we've seen so far this evening, with Adam Brown then following up with a 41.15.
Oh, Adam's gone wide. He's gone wide and over the speed bumps. He's absolutely ruined the final corner. That's the first kind of chink in his armour that we've seen all evening. If Azar can nail the final corner, I think he's got it done, Tom.
Yeah, surely he's got it in. He's got it there. Adam Brown on 107. Imran Mazar will be seeing that time. And Imran Mazar was even faster actually going into it to start with. So he'd had a mighty second sector, and Imran Mazar comes through to take the fastest lap we've seen so far today as wet track gets announced. They cross the line. Imran Mazar takes a 104.33, meaning he will be starting this on pole position with Adam Brown in second. A fantastic effort from the two of them there, and confirmation, I think, unless anything changes right away, we're going to be starting race 1 with the wet tyre.
Wow, what a change at the end of that session. Adam just had to coast it into the final corner, but pushed a little bit too hard going into the first apex, ran wide, couldn't control the slide, and then those sleeping policemen just launched the car into the air, and that was that. Imran Azar probably would have seen what had happened and would have just known, right, I just need to chill through this final corner, and that's exactly what he did. He smashed in a 104.3, which is 3/10 quicker than anybody else has gone in the duels. So Imran Azar, he had something in reserve at the end there, but goodness knows what Adam's time would have been there. It could have been very, very close to the 103s, Tom, because he was on alien pace going into that final corner.
He was doing very well. He was actually, I don't know if you, I think he must have missed a second split then, because Imran Mazar was actually faster ahead than of Adam for the second split. Adam with a 141.15 and Imran Mazar with a 141.08. So 700ths of a second ahead and very, very close. But Adam, I think he did. That was the first one we've seen. Adam normally very, very good under pressure, but just made a slight slip up into the first, into that final corner there. And as I said, that's the one that's going to really make and break. I think if we're going to see errors today, that's really there in turn 1 is where it's going to be. The drivers seem to have turn 1 sort of figured out, lift off and brake before you hit the boards. Whereas in that corner there, you've got to be so committed through it as you've got the direction changes. The surface isn't the easiest to grip onto. So I think that's caught a couple people out there, Pete.
Yes, I think so as well. And, well, will the wet weather catch people out? Because we are more than likely going to be starting race 1 with wet conditions, which means the drivers have to use the road super tyre in the speed to kind of simulate the lack of grip that the rain would give you. So, Tom, we've seen on a few occasions in previous rounds that the drivers have to put quite a lot of work in to get a lap in with the wet tyre, the road super tyre. It's very, very difficult with the power that this car has.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite have the grip that they currently have with the current tyre. So it really does provide a lot more interest in going in there. I think it's going to provide a lot of interest, especially around the first sort of 4 and 5, because it's a long sweeping corner. The drivers need to keep it turned in. They want to keep the speed up. So the drivers who are able to modulate the power through there are going to see big advantage over those who suffer. And then, of course, they've got to do that direction change for 6 as well, which is also a big sweeping corner. You've got that bump down the back straight as well. Got to hope the drivers aren't completely lit up over there, because it could be seeing a couple of drivers get caught out by that and maybe spinning. And then, of course, that huge commitment they've got for 10 and 11, and then also getting it stopped and turned in for 12. It's going to be quite something to watch, Pete.
Yeah, and something to watch is going to be how the drivers are going to manage the attack boost, because it's on the outside of turn 7, but it seems that from qualifying at least, this track is so fast. So the drivers are going to have to be very, very careful not to get in the way of each other, or be aware that when a driver goes for the attack boost, they need to leave them room going through 8 and 9, which is a very, very fast section. So that's all to look forward to. We've got the first race coming up in just a few minutes' time, but we are going to take a very, very short break and see what goes on in race 1, the 15-lap sprint race with wet tyres coming up very shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to MRC's E-Challenge here at the Portland E-Prix. We're getting ready now for race one, which is the 15-minute lap sprint race that we do here, where I believe we're going to be starting off with a wet track. But unlike last year, even if it's wet, the drivers still do have to use a attack boost. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage that one. My prediction for that is they're probably going to try and hold it out for as long as possible. Hope the track goes dry before they use that, because they already have enough trouble getting all that power down with the how light the cars are with the grip they have available. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they hold that up and hope it goes to dry. Now, we're going to be having the grid presentation very shortly. The cars there in the background ready to go. And we're going to be having the onboard camera here very shortly.
Yes, we are. As Michael Malik makes his way to the grid, Tom, take it away for the track presentation. There is the TV car in the background.
So on your right there is Imran Azar, our pole position sitter, who managed to defeat the man on the left there, Adam Brown, in the finals of the duels. Very close indeed. Gabba in the third place, bring up on your second row, joined by Tima Sarkinen as well. Cyril Basset in fifth position there on the row with Karos Montiotis, the man who's also fighting for second place currently in the championship. Nico Pintola, after a fantastic recovery drive last time out, is going to have to do a bit of work again today. There on your right, and Daniel Balla there on the left. Looking forward to a race from him, and also a bit of work he's going to have to do to climb up the grid. Roni Krompos on the right in the green, and also Skarn Roberts over there on the left as well, with Mika Sarkinen bringing up the back of the grid. Now, I believe Lorenzo Lucchini has been able to solve some of the technical issues he had and will be joining us from a pit lane start. There we see him. So he's going to have to wait for all the drivers to go through and will be released according to race control.
Well, here we go then, Tom. The race declared wet for the lights. Take it away.
Here we go. Lights will be coming up very, very shortly. It's not going to be a formation lap. It is a standing start. We do here, of course, 11 drivers on the grid, 1 in the pit lane. The lights will be coming up shortly, eventually when they do. There we go. Lights start to come up now. The board is ready. Just waiting for the countdown to begin. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Holding. Long hold. Drivers getting it. Sketchy at the back. There we go. Green light. Fantastic launch from Gabba, and Imran Azar struggling a little bit. Huge wheel spin all the way, and Adam Brown has had a torrid start. Dropped way back. Imran Azar's completely overshot turn 1 and has dropped way back down. Gabba has managed to slide through into the first place there. I think Imran's down now in 4th or 5th. That's been horrendous. But Gabba, a fantastic start from 3rd all the way to the lead, and it has done a solid job there, as I think there's some tangling or cars getting very close together in the background. And Adam Brown's trying to make a move onto Gabba. They nudge and touch, but they both survive, unlike Carlos Sainz, the first of the Monaco Grand Prix today. But Gabba is still in the lead, struggling a lot with the tyres, and Adam going for a wider line. Gabba having to go defensive on him onto the back, which is only going to compromise the run here, but definitely did end up getting the better traction zone. As we see here, Adam there in the background with this new smoothing camera that we have available for here, as over the bumps, all drivers are still in control. As we get on the brakes for this commitment section are the drivers who's practiced on the wet tyre, just in case. Adam with a bit of a slide there in the background and running slightly wider on entry to try and get a better drive here onto the back straight. But at the end of the first lap, the cars, I think we've all made it through this time. But the order here is Gabba has done a fantastic job, jumping from 3rd to 1st. Adam Brown up to hold 2nd place. Tima Sarkinen taken 3rd, and Imran Azar down to 4th. Still in a very strong position where he needs to be. Adam has pulled alongside Gabba, but Gabba's still got the better traction out the corner. It's going to be very interesting watching these guys fight all the way through. And there we go. Gabba's actually run wide. Adam has snuck straight up his inside and taken the lead of the race. A fantastically opportunistic move from Adam, who's very switched on watching Gabba struggle with this car. He's not quite been up to speed this year that we'd expect with him. He's really struggled to find momentum and pace with this, so I hope maybe next year he's going to be a bit more on top, but still a long way of this race to go and a lot of opportunities for the drivers behind to take full advantage of everything going ahead, Pete.
Yeah, this is really impressive. I mean, especially off the start with the brand new tyres, using the road supers for the first time this evening. The drivers have had to change change the way that their brains are wired essentially between qualifying and the race. Everybody trying on the road supers, probably the tyre that the drivers have practiced with the least. But as we head on to lap 3, you can see there in the background, Imran Azar sideways out of the final corner, but it's Adam Brown who leads the field for the first time in the first race. On to lap 3 with Gabba almost a second behind. Oh, but Adam's run wide, Tom.
Yeah, slight mistake there from Adam, but able to get it stopped and not lose the position. Attack mode is now enabled, but this is a 15-lap race, and you don't have to have used the entirety of the attack mode come the end of the race. So there is still plenty of opportunity. I don't think we're going to be seeing the drivers use that attack mode now until right for the end. I think they want the rain to stop and want it to be dry before they use that. Be very interesting. Imran Mazar there swinging around the outside. Sorry, not quite swinging around the outside, forcing Teemu Sarkinen to do lots of evasive driving. Not really evasive. Sorry, what am I saying? A bit of defensive driving and trying to hold Imran Mazar behind. It is still currently working, but the fight is very much on and it is very hotly contested for that position. Adam now almost stretching his legs a little bit now from Gabba and is able to build a bit of an advantage going on there.
Yeah, I mean, Gabba's slightly closed up as the drivers hit the home straight for the third time. And we've got Karas Montejoitis making a move on Cyril Bisset. He's moved up to P6 now over Cyril. A good move that's happened at the end of the previous lap.
Yeah, the fight for third is really, really hotting up now. Imran Mazar is making a few mistakes. I don't think he's quite had the practice for this round that he has had for others. So he's made a few silly mistakes here and there, which is really helping and hindering him from getting past Teemu Sarkinen and is really playing into the hands of Nico Pantola, who he did have a comfortable gap back to, but is able to close up quite a bit. But definitely holding a much tighter line there, you see, from Nico's camera onboard perspective to the guys ahead. Oh, Sarkinen's run a little bit wide, take a bit more of a cutback, trying to be opportunistic there for Imran Mazar, which hasn't quite worked out for him. But he's definitely got to be focusing on not only getting ahead, but also the man behind who is clearly wanting to try to make a few moves on him, Pete.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see that we've got a fight somewhere. We've got Adam Brown and Gabor quite close, and then a bit of a gap back to this fight as Imran gets quite close to the back of Teemu Sarkinen out of the final corner, but a bit wide. And Teemu with a good exit, I think that's going to negate any sort of slipstream effect that Imran Azar is going to have off the back of Teemu Sarkinen's E-Challenger EVO as they come onto the first sector of lap 5 now through the bales, the tyre stacks here. It looks like Adam's been into one as we head through turns 4 and 5. And very interesting to think about who is going to be the first driver and when are they going to use this attack boost. We've got light rain.
Adam Brown, not Adam Brown. Sorry to jump in. Teemu Sarkinen and Imran Mazar ran wide through the flowing outside of turn 5. Teemu Sarkinen somehow has managed to hold his position because Imran Mazar, I think, was playing a bit too much attention to the car ahead. Nico Pantola managed to just slink up the inside of Imran and has stolen 4th place away from him now and is leaving him a lot to do as he's now run wide, hit the tyres, didn't hit the big bumps, but is absolutely lighting up his rear tyre and isn't able to get the power down. So Imran Mazar able to just slide straight back on through to him. As soon as we swapped away, the drama all kicked off there. And that has just given Teemu Sarkinen some fantastic bit of braking room. And I think is going to... Oh, Imran Mazar's yeah, I think his concentration isn't quite there at the minute. He's letting a little frustration sweep in there. He just needs to be calm, play it cool. He's got another couple... this rest of this race and next race to claim the title. He just needs to stay focused. He's in a commanding position, but I think he's a little bit of nerves are sneaking in here with this one, Pete.
Yeah, he only needs a handful of points. What is it, 12 points or something, 20 points to wrap up the championship? So not many when you think about how many are handed out at the end of each of these events, but still it's his to lose at this stage. But yeah, finishing has to be number one priority. As we've got Lachidi through the tyre stacks at turn number 1. He's in a fight with his teammate, actually. Ronnie Krompush just behind. And Scan Roberts currently in P11, just out of shot, trying to keep up with these two as well. But as we are on lap number 6, it's Adam Brown for Sim Broadcast who leads ahead of Gabor Guillot, the number 1 champion from last season, trying to chase Adam down. Who's lit a flame under his backside today, Tom. He's absolutely disappearing up the road. Timo Saarinen, the number 69, is just ahead of Nico Pantola as the track has been, well, it hasn't been declared dry yet, but the rain has stopped. So be aware that the drivers may be able to come into the pit lane to swap off of their road supers at some point soon once the track is declared dry.
Remember, so the weather commit line, for everyone wondering how this works, the weather commit line is between turns 11 and 12. So if the track goes dry and you've gone past there, you've got to keep going round. If you're before there, then you have to pit and change. It works the same way as if it goes from dry to wet. So if you are going to be going round there and you're in turn 12 and it turns to dry track, you do have to do another lap. So you will get another lap of hindrance on that tyre, where you will be slower, and it will give the guys behind you quite an advantage on catching you. So I think the drivers now just want to make sure they're able to get the best. Timo Saarinen go for that later cutback as Nico Pantola's gone for the lunge on him, and he's able to just hold away. I think it's a risky strategy there for Saarinen, and I don't think it's helping him too much because these guys are able to close up on him so fast. This car gets to its top speed so quickly and holds there, but it does give him a little bit more defense into turn 10, but I wonder whether it's hampering his lap time overall, as it's now allowed Imran Mazar to close right back onto the two of them. So it's turning once again into a 3-car battle there for this final podium position, Pete.
Yeah, this is fascinating stuff. Imran really would want to get to the front of this battle. He'd sorely like a podium, I'm sure, as Nico takes another look at Timo Saarinen into turn 1. And yeah, you're right, this is playing completely into the hands of Imran. But Imran is not there to capitalise on the battle that's going on ahead of him, as Nico sends it up the inside, hits a tyre stack in the process, but Timo Saarinen still able to hold him off. They're still side by side through turn 5, Tom. And, well, what's Imran going to do? Is he going to be worried about this? Probably.
Yeah, a bit of contact. And there we go, dry track. Dry track has been called. Everyone this side of turn 11 will be diving into pits. Nico Pantola making the lunge on Saarinen. Everyone is on the right side of the weather commit line, so we'll be going into the pit lane now. So this is where drivers also have a bit of extra to worry about. Who's been planning properly? Who knows?
Adam's got it wrong.
Adam clearly distracted there, run wide, which is absolutely gifted Gabor the run through. Both drivers, and Adam snuck back through on the brakes for the weather commit line. Nico Pantola's done Timo Saarinen as well and has taken the position. So both drivers now, it's all scrapping around. Who's going to come out of that pit lane ahead now? Nico Pantola in third going into the pits, Timo Saarinen in fourth, and Imran Mazar in fifth as drivers start coming into the pit lane now. Adam gets a good launch out the box. Is he ahead? I don't know. I think Gabor might just be ahead there. Adam also was half a second slower there. Gabor's still ahead, but they're side by side into turn 1 here. Adam on the brakes on the inside. Gabor coming round, and there's contact. Gabor done very well not to get out of shape there. It's able to get the car stopped and hold it, blocking that apex. Now, I wouldn't be too surprised if shortly we see someone start using the attack boost, really try and maximise the performance of these cars to try and pull away. Gabor gonna have an Adam who's absolutely hard charging. There we go. I think he hit the inside a bit hard there, really threw him off. But Adam has fallen foul to that turn 10, turn 11 complex again. And there we go. He's dove out onto take the attack boost. He's decided he needs that. He wants that extra power. He wants to get ahead and start building a deficit. Of course, when you take that, it does drop you back a bit. So he's probably about a second back now. There we go. He's 1.37 back right now. So you lose about a second taking the attack boost. Nico Pantola's also taking the attack boost, but has managed to stay ahead of Timo Saarinen. So he's going to be in a strong position there to defend from that. And it's leaving a lot of work for Imran to do to try and catch back up the grid there, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely frantic action at the start of lap number 11. Well, lap number 9 really, as the drivers get onto the stickier rubber. And we've got Adam Brown and Nico Pantula, as you mentioned, with the attack boost. And now we're going to see if that is going to pay dividends for Adam. First of all, he is going to have 4 minutes, 3 minutes remaining of his attack boost. Gabor probably will wait. He'll see how how quickly Adam is able to catch up. Although, no, Gabba's going to go early. He's gone onto the attack boost straight away and comes out just behind Adam. So these two now on equal power, but Adam takes back the lead as we are really getting close to the end of this race. As Gabba now going side by side with Adam. Oh, did they touch? It was very, very close. But Adam later on the brakes into the chicane. Fantastic side by side action here, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic and great respect from the two drivers, leaving each other just enough space, making it hard but not taking each other out. Adam in the first lap using that attack boost did manage to pull something like 0.4 of a second out of Gabba. So really the attack boost does pay dividends down this track with the longer straights. And Adam absolutely clobbered the tyre there, sending it absolutely flying all over the place, and it nearly landed on Gabba's car. Probably a little bit of a distraction for him, but it has all gotten through, all still alive and still well, but leaving a hell of a fantastic battle we have at the front here. Both drivers absolutely on it all the way through, trying to find ways to throw off the other driver, trying to look for ways to make a gap to get through, and it's going to be a fantastic one to see. But we've got 4 laps now of just pure to the end scrapping. So it's going to be an interesting one indeed, Pete. Just now, what's your prediction on this one? Who are you putting your money on right now, Pete?
Oh, come on. That's so difficult to choose between these two. Obviously, I'm going to stick with my guns and say Adam. I'm not biased at all, of course, but he's doing everything that he needs to at the moment, as a whole bunch of other drivers are going through the boost section. There goes Cyril Bousset to pick up his 4 minutes of boost towards the end of the race, sorry. And yeah, you're right. We have just under 4 minutes of racing to go for these guys, so they might as well take that attack boost and make use of that full 350 kilowatts, an extra 50 or 49 kilowatts that the drivers get access to. But more fascinatingly, it's going to be Adam Brown running out in 56 seconds time.
Sorry, just jump in. Timo Sarkkinen has run wide into turn 1, clobbered the tyres and allowed Imran Mazar to sneak on through up into 4th place now. So he finally managed to make the gap and get through it. So he's in a strong position, and Timo Sarkkinen is having a bit of a nightmare now, all over the bumps, and really has opened the gap up and allowed Imran a bit of the breathing room he probably would have liked to have. And so he's now in quite a commanding position in 4th. He's got a lot of work to do to catch Nico ahead. So I think we're it's run wider then, just to give him some comments on him. But back to the front here, Adam and Gabor, nose to tail. They've been this way pretty much the entire race so far. As we go on to lap lucky 13, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to stay on top of this one and where they're going to be at. They're going to have a lap traffic coming into play very shortly with the speed they are going. And there you go, he's made the gap on through there, so it's going to be a interesting one to see here. Adam now run out of the attack boost. Gabba's got a minute of it left, so I think Adam's going to be vulnerable here down that long back straight, and I think he needs to try and find a way to build a bit of a gap, a bit of a deficit, maybe throw Gabba off by going a little bit defensive here and just hope he's able to hold it. No, he's sticking to his guns. He knows the lines he's used to, he knows what he's comfortable with, running right out, using all the room he can. And there we go, you see Gabba with that attack boost, how quickly he gains there with the slipstream as well. Adam's vulnerable, he's gone very defensive, but Gabba there with that extra power has just absolutely sailed on past him. It's a fantastic move by Gabba. He just needs to hold it now. Adam, there you go, full send, slide car, full wheel sliding all the way through. But Adam right on his tail, all the way around the corner, and is now going to be trying to hunt him all the way through. Gabba trying to break the slipstream, gone to the inside. For that precise reason, but look at the difference that leaves with that extra power. Really, I think this track has really been the highlight in the difference in the power and how effective the attack boost can be. And there we go, Gabba no longer attack boost, but a half-second advantage over Adam behind, which I know isn't massive, but it's definitely going to be a bit. And I think Carlos Montoyotis is making a move on to Timo Sarkkinen, and yes, there he is up the inside using that attack boost. Both drivers had it, but I think probably had a slightly better exit. Oh, he's gone horrendously wide for the Apex 2, which has allowed Timo Sarkkinen just to slide back on through. And I think we're going to see Carlos Montoyotis really going for it here. He was in contention for that second place, but it's definitely going to be struggling. Now, Adam has took that pole position and is also in a bit of a runaway going on here.
Oh, well, that was an absolutely brilliant side-by-side battle from the two. Crucially, Adam ran out of boost just when he didn't want to, and Gabor was able to utilise the extra 30 seconds or something that he had over him to get through at the perfect moment. as we've got, Countess Motojutis has opened up that gap over Team Isakin now. Got back past and up to P5 on the road as we're on to the final lap with the number 1, Gabagia, into the lead. Adam's going to be kicking himself. Tom, when the dry track state was announced, it almost looked like Adam went into what he thought was the pit lane, but it was a runoff. He drove off the track and then kind of came back on over a sleeping policeman. I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe he was fiddling with his pit settings or something, but it looked very, very odd. But ultimately, he'll be kicking himself, and that's cost him a lot of time as the drivers make their way onto the back straight.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just a slight lapse in concentration, but of course, with how non-aerodynamic, how little aero downforce these cars have, you do need to be so much more aware and paying a bit more attention. I think he just had a slight lapse in concentration, and as a result of that, it's cost him dearly, which is what's gone on here. It's not something it wants, but there we go. Gabby Gill all the way to the start finish line there. There we go, crosses the line. Your sprint race winner is Gabby Gill, very hotly followed up, just half a second back to Adam Brown. As coming up to the line now is Nico Pantola, crossing the line to take third position in this sprint race as well, with Imran Mazar bringing up fourth. And I think now it's going to be one step closer, if not already have the title. We'll have to double check the figures on that one. Michaelis Montiotis takes fifth position with Timo Sarkkinen, who had a fantastic start and is just unfortunate to fall back down, finishing sixth. Then a few of the lap drivers coming through, but Daniel Balla taking seventh, Cyril Brisset eighth. Ninth place is going to be coming across the line there. I believe that's Roni Krompros taking ninth position, and just a couple more cars to go, as I believe that's Lucidi coming up now. There it is, Lorenzo Lucidi rounding out our top 10, and will be starting in pole position for the second race we have going on, and Scorn Roberts in 11th. Last driver to miss is missing out on that reverse grid bonus, so we'll be starting in 11th there, coming out the final corner. And I do believe, I'm just checking, I think that might be our last driver on track. So there we go. All 12 drivers have finished now.
Yeah, Gabba earns himself 25 points for a sprint race victory, which will probably mean that Imran has got to finish at least the feature race. So it's not over for him just yet, as the drivers they should be making their way up to the podium. But Gabba has elected to do another lap, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But we have a bit of a break now before the start of the feature race, which will be a top 10 reversed grid. There's a bit of confusion on the start finish straight as the drivers try to get themselves into some sort of order for a podium shot. But what a race between Adam and Gabba. They were leagues ahead of everyone else at the end of that one. Tom, 14 seconds in the end.
Yeah, fantastic job from the pair of them, really absolutely going for it. And it wasn't like they were just nose to tail all the time, not fighting each other. It was hot fighting all the way through. And really, the fact they were able to pull 14 seconds while fighting as hotly as they were is quite something. Really fantastic effort from them two there. Really was. And I mean, Imram, Nico, and Team Sarkin were a bit messy through the race. I think Sarkin's got a bit unfortunate in a few situations, which cost him dearly, and it did definitely drop back a bit harder. Nico did an excellent job working his way through and doing well up there. And there was, I think, we don't show it as much on camera, but there was some great battles further down the field as well, especially with sort of the drivers just trying to work their way through and sorting out their positionings.
Yeah, it's hard to capture all the action in a sprint race, of course. Only 15 laps. Fortunately, we'll have more laps for the feature race. But let's go down the final order of our sprint. Gabagier, the full complement of 25 points in 20 minutes and 18 seconds, also registering the fastest lap, a 105.2. Adam Brown is in second, and Nico Pantola rounds out our podium for the sprint race. Great stuff. We will be taking a very short break, hopefully, as the grid order will be set for the feature race. Tom will be back in just a moment's time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Master Race Cars E-Challenge, ready for the final race of the championship. I can confirm provisionally that we believe Imran Mazar is now champion after that performance. He took 18 points between qualifying and race and the first sprint race, and Adam Brown needed a flawless performance there. So by finishing second, we believe that means that he has now run out of opportunity to win, I should say. So Imran Mazar will be your champion for the 2024 season. So it'll be interesting to see if he does want to run that number one for the next race. They are currently gridding us up for our feature race, which will of course be an extra 9 laps, 24 laps in total for the feature race, top 10 reverse. So going to be seeing a few drivers in different places to last time. I believe Lorenzo Lucidi will be taking pole position for this one, so it's going to be a bit of excitement going into that, and it's going to be an interesting one, playing into the factor now of the energy management. Going to be seeing how that plays out here. I'm sure Chris will keep me up to date on who's where, how the different energies are going, and be jumping between Pete a few times, putting a bit onto him and getting him to do some multitasking going ahead. They have nearly finished upgrading up, but before we go to that, Pete, as you're saying in the break, this is your first time you've commentated over this series. How have you find it, and what are you expecting for the next race?
Well, there's a few too many buttons to press, but we're getting there. It's been fun, and massive congrats to Imran Azar once again, stealing the championship back from Gabba, who won it last year. Commiserations to Adam Brown, of course, because he was on the still on the mathematical chances to win it. But yeah, enjoying commentary. It's different, isn't it, to some of the other series we do here. As we are readying up in the background, the drivers are getting ready for the 24-lap sprint, which I'll hand over to Tom for the start.
Yeah, E-Challenge is one of the most hectic series I think you could possibly commentate on. It's absolutely crazy stuff. But drivers coming to the grid now won't be having Lorenzo Lucidi from the pit lane. He will be in our pole position here. So we'll be loading on to Michael Malik, who will be our camera cart very shortly. There you see the camera cart going well as he's going to allow it to move. Here we go. I believe it's both race green machines on the front row there. So let's get the camera onto the go-kart, and I'll give you your run through of the drivers starting this second race here as we approach our pole position sitter there, 10th place in the sprint race. There we go, Lorenzo Lucidi on the front with Roni Krompos in second place. Cyril Basset bringing up starting off the second row in third place, with Daniel Balla up next to him in fourth. Timo Sarkkinen bringing in fifth, with Carlos Montoyotis in sixth place there on the third row. Imran Mazar, champion-elect, the man who no longer anything left to prove. He should, in theory, have won the championship there on the right, with Nico Pantola bringing up in just one spot further back. Adam Brown after a fantastic first race, is there in P9 with Gabba. I'm really sorry, I butchered that horrendously, in 10th, and Scorn Roberts in 11th, with Mika Sarkkinen rounding out our 12-car grid for this sprint race here, feature race. What am I talking about? Too much going on. So we'll be going green very, very shortly, and we'll be counting you in to the lights. Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Thank you very much for the rundown, Tom. And for the final time this season, take us away for the lights.
Yeah, so just being noted, 5 seconds till the lights come on. So there we go. They're starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are they going to hold it anywhere near as long? They're still up. They're holding for a long time. Drivers on edge. That's a long light hold. And there we go. Off it goes. Drivers wheel spinning very, very aggressively. Surabase on quite a strong start. Ronan Krompos on a good start. And Surabase going 3 wide on turn 1. Ronan Krompos has snuck up into the lead. Lorenzo Lucchini in second. Surabase in third. Daniel Balla actually has snuck his way into third, dropping Surabase back. Timo Sarkkinen is up, sort of fighting now for that third place spot, trying to go round the outside. Daniel Balla doing a very good job holding him there, with just behind, I think that's Carlos Montoya, looking very optimistically between these two, very close to each other in the background. Imran Razak doing a great job working his way through field, but Adam Brown's had an absolute fantastic start. Has done a fantastic job working on through. He's really, really on it with this car at the minute. And Imran Razak's been held up a little bit, taking the wide line on through. Carlos Montoya just going for the move onto Daniel Balla, sending up the inside, and a huge send. He's cut Timo Sarkkinen napping as well. A fantastic job using a bit more of his energy there, but an absolutely huge opportunistic move. But he's run wide on that final corner, so he's going to be super vulnerable now down the back straight. So coming to the end of lap 1, all the drivers seem to have made it through alive. Nobody's upside down, and so Adam Brown going for the inside move up the inside, done for Daniel Balla, and is trying on Timo Sarkkinen, who's holding, not letting him go so quickly, which is going to hold him up. Surabase has tagged the back of Daniel Balla and has ended up spinning round, able to keep himself going though, no major danger, not stuck in the road, and is able to keep going. Ronan Krompos though is sort of loving all the battles that's going on up and down the grid, trying to build a bit of a gap there. Lorenzo Lucchini doing everything he can to defend on the guys behind, as Adam Brown has done an absolutely fantastic job as working his way through this grid, starting 9th, currently up to 4th, and is looking to try to pounce onto the 3 in this breakaway group there. Imran Razak having to work his way through, not quite as well, has found himself in a bit of a gap there, as we're seeing Ronan Krompos coming in to turn 10 now, getting on the brakes for it, and Carlos Montoya just bridging the gap. He's dropped back a little bit, is going to have to be worrying about the guys behind him very shortly. Adam looking incredibly racy still. There we go. See them filtering out now onto the start-finish line. Pete, been a hectic couple of laps. Have you seen anything that I missed?
I don't think so, Tom. I think everybody that made a move we saw on the cameras for once, as we've got Adam Brown going around the outside, or trying to go around the outside on Carlos Montejuice into turn 1. Hasn't worked out, but yeah, this is an ideal setup now for Adam. He's got Carlos just ahead, who's had a strong start and going for a bit of a lunge. Thinks about a move on Lorenzo Lucchini, but doesn't quite go for it in the end. But Adam Brown has a bit of a buffer, doesn't he? He's got Imran 3 places behind, Gabba 4 places behind, and only 3 cars ahead of him to get through, to then start to think about stretching his opportunity. But we do have a bit of a train forming behind Ronan Krompos, it seems. And maybe Lorenzo, his teammate, might think about a move into the final complex of corners. We've got Dan Balla side by side there with Timo Sarkkinen. Timo getting through on him.
Yeah, Dan, we missed it into turn 1. Dan made a fantastic move on the inside of Timo Sarkkinen, and Timo Sarkkinen, I think, just sort of caught Dan Balla napping a little bit through turn 7 and made the move through. Lorenzo Lucchini going for a move there, I believe, onto Roni up ahead. There you go, side by side. He's got the inside line. There we go. Lucchini's kept his foot on. Roni's lifted off and let power off, and I think someone else is making the opportunistic move there. Carlos Montoya up into the lead, actually. I've missed something there. I don't know how he's managed that, but Roni's cycled all the way down the 3rd, and now it's Adam Brown going for a move on him as well. He's absolutely on it there. Adam slinking round the outside, doing very well to hold the grip there. He's done a great job to get that up into 3rd place now, and is looking for a way past Lucchini as he dives to the inside. Lucchini not really wanting to fight it too harshly. Gave him plenty of room on the inside, but still holding him in position. He knows if he lets him through, he could be in danger. And so there we go. First man into the attack boost. Timo Sarkinen diving to the outside is going to have the boost now. So it doesn't matter that Gabor had the move on the inside. He doesn't have the speed there. Gabba and Nico haven't really made too much headway ahead, whereas Adam Brown now all the way up to second place. Just one man left, and then he's in the lead, and he has an absolutely colossal advantage once he gets through. Ronnie Krompos has run a little wide, which is going to mean he's vulnerable to the guys behind down the back straight. But I think some of these drivers might be thinking a bit too sprint racy in this and not focusing on the long game. Imran Mazar now is came under a little bit of pressure there, but did end up having Timo Sarkinen back out of that, so which allowed him, I think, another move going on to score and to go for a huge dive onto Mika Sarkinen, and they've collected into each other. Mika Sarkinen span round and given him a bit of a biff, but has ended up still a lead. Ronnie Krompos has made a horrible mistake through turn 4-5 and has run horrendously wide and has dropped down another 3 positions, gifting Daniel Balla the position and making it one bit easier for Imran Mazar to try focusing ahead. Lorenzo Lucidi and Daniel Balla diving for that attack boost. Imran Mazar and Timo Sarkinen are going to get past Daniel Balla, but are not going to be able to catch him. I think might even come under threat from the guys behind. Timo Sarkinen, of course, does have the attack boost, and as a result, he's going for the move on Imran Mazar. I think Imran really needs this attack boost because he's a sitting duck on the straight there. This attack boost does a fantastic job at allowing the drivers to catch right up to the back of them.
See, absolutely crazy action, Tom. Well done for keeping up with it all. But yeah, Imran Azar, because he's not got that attack boost, has been swamped by 2 cars now, and now it's going to be a third as Dan Balla is going to swing straight through up into the first corner. Dan Balla also almost tripping over Timo Sarkinen. They get very, very close at the apex, but Imran Azar, well, is he going to wish he'd taken the boost? I think so, because now he's got a lot more moving chicanes in front of him.
Yeah, I think he does need to dive into the attack boost. While he's losing out on the straight, he is faster in the corners than these guys. But as a result, there's a lot of straight line in this. So he does really need to, I think, get the attack boost this lap. Otherwise, these guys are going to make him vulnerable to Gabba behind him. He's being backed up a bit, and he's right there. As we see, he doesn't go for it. Neither does Gabba. Neither does Rody, and neither does Nico. I think playing the longer game. Still another 18 laps to go after this one, so both got their attack boost left to go. Timo Sarkinen going for a move on Lorenzo Lucidi, but thinks a bit better of it and backs out in the end. I think we have someone else going for a move. There we go. Nico going for a move. Rony not fighting that really too much and allowing him on through. I wonder how close Adam's gotten up ahead. I think that was Lucidi hit the wall there through the final corner, which allowed Timo Sarkinen just to slide straight on through. Adam Brown going for a move up front, I think. Side by side, and Carlos Montoya just not letting him through. We know Carlos has pace, but he doesn't want to give up this position. He does want to take this as a race win, and is going to have to do a solid job to defend this. Daniel Balla has made a move on Lucidi, dove up the inside, holding back Imran Mazar. Still hasn't been able to work his way through that. No, Lucidi still has 2 minutes of the attack boost left, so it's going to be very racy down the back straight here. And I'm waiting to see Imran dive for that attack boost. It should be happening, I think. Oh, there we go. Gabba's decided he wants to make some moves. He's dove to the attack boost. I don't think Nico's going to try and fight him with it. There we go. He stayed out of the way. Gabba's coming on through. I think these two working together, teammates, probably in some element of communication, as I think Adam Brown, once again, going for a move. Oh, it's collision. Adam spun off the track. That's huge. He's lost so much time there. Will be absolutely raging, frustrating himself. I think he needed to take the attack boost to get the advantage there and get through. We knew he had the pace. He needed to take another opportunity to get past there, and he's ended up cycling all the way back in behind Nico, all the way down in, I believe, 9th place there. So absolute nightmare for him. And Carlos Montoya is going to be absolutely thanking his lucky stars for that one, as I think I'm seeing Imran Mazar and Lucidi absolutely squabble it out through that first chicane in the background. But there we go. Gabba's now trying to make a move on Imran Mazar, and he's going to get it done, I think. Yeah, he just doesn't have the space to hold the inside, and it just shows how, unlike some tracks such as New York, where the attack boost is almost a hindrance due to how twisty and technical it is, round here the attack boost does an awful lot for you. So I'm actually quite surprised that none of the others have gone for the attack boost.
I'm super surprised that Imran's not gone for it at this stage, because he's been overtaken by so many cars at this point, as Gabba's also looking to try and make a move on Lorenzo Lucidi up into the next corner. In fact, he's already done it. It's through. on the back straight into the final 2 corners. But Adam Brown throwing away that opportunity to take the lead, just a little bit scrappy into the final corner, and did not manage to get the place on Karolis, who's now opened up a 1-second lead over Dan and Timo Sarkkinen. So yeah, it's all change as Imran deciding not to go for that boost at this time in the race. He's got two boosts yet to take.
Yeah, we just missed it, but Dan Ballard actually just made a move on Timo Sarkkinen into turn 1 to take second place. I think he's got eyes of closing down Carlos Montoyotis ahead, who is in a strong position. He's got the 2 attack boosts left to use, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he uses those later on when some of the faster drivers get to him. So I think he's going to have that. I think Nico's just run wide, and as a result, Adam's been able to get on through past him. There we go. Imran Mazar finally taking that attack boost. I think probably a lap or 2 late, and is now going to have to fight Nico for this. Nico's not even bothering to fight it. He knows no point. That attack boost is so strong, just allowing through and trying to use the slipstream to catch up. Adam is going to have to fight through Lucidi, and then Imran Mazar is going to have to try and get past Adam as well, using this attack boost. I believe Gabba's still got a minute to go. There goes Lucidi spinning out the final corner. Driver's doing well to avoid him out the back there, and everyone, I believe, has now gotten through who was in the immediate vicinity. So that risk is gone. Dan Ballard just letting Gabba through at the front for second place, but being very messy and not signaling it very well. So it's caused absolute bit of a kerfuffle. Timo Sarkkinen now trying to be optimistic on Dan Ballard as well, but sort of backing out of it there. Not really the opportunity, but I think that's definitely held up Gabba while he was done that with best intentions. It's been a bit messy overall. Gabba now only 1 man ahead of him, and it's Carlos Montoyotis, but he does only have 1 attack boost left compared to Carlos's 2. So, and then Dan Ballard running wide again, a bit messy out of there. Carlos Montoyotis with nearly 3 seconds advantage. Gabba with half a minute, well, 26 seconds there of the attack boost to go. I don't think he's going to catch him, but I think we are going to see some moves going on further down. I think Cyril Bousset going round the outside of Ronnie Krompos down the back straight. Move done before he gets to that tight 10-11 segment for getting in to the brakes for turn 12. Imran Mazar now still also has just over half of his attack boost to go, and is desperately trying to close down onto Adam Brown. In fact, I think he's really trying to push for a move. He pulled out the inside, and I don't know if he even made it through. We'll see shortly. He didn't make it through, but he's definitely hounding him there. And you see just how much the difference is in that boost. Adam, not wanting to lose too much time, concedes for now and tries to make a move back up the inside. Absolutely fantastically done on the cutback there from Adam. Really, really precise, really confident in what he's doing, but is going to be vulnerable when they come out with turn 7 in the long run there out after that. So interested to see if he's going to be able to hold back Imran as we come out of turn 7 here, using all of the track available to him. But how much is this attack boost going to let him close in? He's going to have slipstream. He's going to have attack boost. He's going to have everything in his favour. Are we going to see it this lap, or is it probably going to be a move into turn 1, Pete? What do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. I'm struggling to keep up with everything that's going on here, Tom. I won't lie. But Imran Azar finally is starting to turn the screws. And, well, he left it a bit late. We're almost, well, in fact, we are going to be halfway through the race at the end of this next lap. And, well, Adam Brown has absolutely disappeared up the road now after that battle they had at this point on the previous lap. And he's still got 2 attack modes left to activate. 2.
Yeah, he's in a very, very strong position there. I know he's got those boosts to go. The guys ahead, Timo Sarkkinen and Dan Ballard, have been very scrappy up ahead. They've been quite messy, making lots of unforced errors I've been seeing. So I think once Adam catches them, I think it's going to be quite a quick way through. Of course, these drivers are fighting for these positions still. There's still fights up and down the grid. Adam there dives to the attack boost. Of course, Imran Mazar is going to come out the corner, but he's not going to be able to catch him down the straight. Wow. He's just a little bit too far back. That was absolutely fantastically timed by Adam. Imran's only got 30 seconds left of his attack boost, and is going to be just watching Adam disappear away from up the track. So I think Adam has done a very, very solid drive. He's done it. Oh, huge! Adam hit the bumps on the inside. He overcooked the corner and has absolutely gifted Imran Mazar that position. He's clearly more confident getting on the power out the corner, and Imran's going to run out of attack boost down the straight here. So I won't be surprised if we suddenly see Adam come back on past there So who's going to be last of the late breakers? Imran Mazar able to break and stay ahead there, and it's nose to tail stuff here. But you see the difference on the power in the acceleration zone there. Adam gets so much better drive with the lift. Is Imran going to fight it? No, he's not. Adam has done a fantastic job to keep it within the lines, and that just shows Adam is absolutely flying today, and this boost is only going to help him close the gaps ahead, Pete.
Amazing stuff. I mean, Imran was so lucky. He was up to V max when he ran out of the boost. You could see it just tick away as Imran got on the brakes. So a couple more corners maybe, and well, it would have been a little bit more difficult for Adam to get through. Imran, interesting in not taking the boost back to try and fight Adam at this stage, and they may end up having to defend. Imran may have to defend from Cyril Basset a little bit here, but now that Adam's got the pace back, he is going to be chasing after Daniel Balla as we head on to lap 14 of 24 here. And let's take a look at the all-important energy statistics. And as we only just ticked over halfway, some of the drivers are eating a lot of energy, including Karolis Motojoitis, and also Dan Balla. Look at that. These guys are going to have to lift and coast a lot to the end here.
Yeah, some people, I think, they've been caught up a bit too much in the old fighting and enjoying their positioning and not really paying attention as to where they are. I think when he gets a little look at his energy, Dan Balla's going to be in for a bit of a shock at how far away from target he is. I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to make the end of the race at all, Pete, if I'm honest.
Especially to do a lot of lifting if he wants to make it to the end. Imran Azar is one of the best savers of energy and is making good use of the energy as well. But as you see there, Dan Balla not really able to do much as Adam Brown makes full use again of his extra 50 kilowatts straight round the outside of Dan Balla. So that's another kind of gut punch for the Hungarian.
Yeah, it's been a popular hunting ground of Adams so far today. Of course, Imran has been not quite where he expected to. I think the energy we're going to see some people definitely struggle, Dan Balla, and I think if with some of the others, they're going to have to keep an eye out. There's not going to really be much wiggle room for being more aggressive and trying to get a bit extra with the defending there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage that when we get towards the latter stages where people do, where when the battles are a bit more intense because there's less to go. We've got another sort of 9 laps to go now, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we have available and how these battles really plan out. Imran Mazar, a man who, while excellent on energy saving, just hasn't really had the outright pace since qualifying. He's got the 1 lap pace, but he's really been struggling with the actual race pace overall, I think, Pete, and it's quite unusual for me to see this anyway. I don't know about yourself.
Well, I guess so, but in fairness to him, he has got the championship under wraps. He doesn't need to prove anything more. He's already had it sorted after 3 rounds and a race, so he can pretty much relax. But he's still got 1 attack boost left to go. Gabba, who just set the fastest lap, does not have any left after the one he's got. But Motojutis in the lead, he's got 2 still. So Karolis has got, he's a little bit close on energy. It should be okay. Dan Balla is in real trouble, we think, as we switch to Teemu Sarkkinen, who is was in a close fight with Adam Brown, as Adams actually managed to get through in the first couple of corners.
Yeah, I think with how close Gabba is now, Karolis needs to take his attack boost so he's able to defend from Gabba, because he's just going to be left absolutely standing down the back straight and through the first the main finish line there. I believe Adam has actually taken the attack boost now as well. So and so is Sarkkinen, actually. I think followed him through. So definitely wants to respond to him. Doesn't want to be left hanging there at all. But I think if you just jump to the front there, you see how much danger Karolis Motojutis is in. Gabba has absolutely closed that gap in using the attack boost. And I think, while yes, it's good to try and save your energy, I think it's a silly decision for Karolis because he's just going to be vulnerable now to Gabba. Gabba's going to be able to build a gap on him, and I just think he should have taken the attack boost to stay ahead and not have to worry about Gabba getting back past. So I think a tactical blunder for him there. He has less energy as well, so I think I'm not a fan of what that move he's done, but end of the day, he's the one driving, so I'll see what he comes out with at the end of this. But I think he does need to take that attack boost so he can at least respond to Gabba. And there we go. Yeah, dives into the attack boost. I think that's at least a lap too late, if not two. That's really opened a gap a bit around him. Of course, the drivers, he's the only one in the top 5 with the attack boost, with that attack boost left after his current one runs out. So he is still in a strong position, but I think whenever you let Gabba go through, it's a bit risky. As I think Nico's now making a move on Daniel Balla. There we go. Yeah, he's already gotten through. He's using that attack boost, using that extra power to get through down the straight there, and it's worked out for him. Both running absolutely to the limit there round that turn 11 into the braking zone for turn 12 and done an excellent job. In Ramazar, just up the road there with no attack boost left. Of course, Nico Pantola now is right behind him and still has an attack boost. So a fantastic opportunity ahead for him as well, Pete.
Yeah, I think Carolis could have gone into the attack boost a lap beforehand just to cover off Gabor, because he would have hopefully been aware that Gabor had already used 2 of his and was closing in because of the attack boost. So he has given himself a little bit more work to do, especially with the energy situation. We've got, who is it who's had a bit of an off? Mika Sarkinen has had a bit of an incident, just rejoining there on the final corner. But yeah, you can see the gap between Gabba and Carolus Montejoitis is over 2 seconds now. And that could be because Carolus might think he's a little bit short on energy potentially.
Very possibly, Pete, but I think I still think even if you are a bit short on energy, you do need to take that attack boost just to hold the gap there. And it's definitely hindered him a lot. Adam there, only 3 seconds behind him now, going to really sort of look to make a move ahead. Timo Sarkin's trying to put the screws on, put the pace onto Adam. He's been right there, and I think he desperately wants this podium finish. So he's going to be trying to fight him all the way to the end. The real scrap going on. And they are seeing them just claw back time on Gabba, and also Carlos Montejoitis is sort of sat in no man's land, almost falling back now. Even with the attack boost, he's falling back towards Adam.
Yeah, Cyril Bissay's just made a nice move on Dan Balla into the first corner, up into P7 now for Bissay. So that's a great move as well. But I think that's as a result, of course, of Dan Balla being in a woeful situation with energy. He's just used way too much at the beginning of this race. And it's just going to keep losing time hand over fist as Timo Sarkinen is catching up to Adam Brown again, potentially looking for a move at the end of the home straight, which will be coming up in a few seconds' time once they navigate the final corner. He's in a good striking position. He does have the attack boost, so too does Adam, but good exit from Timo Sarkinen here.
Yeah, Adam forced to go defensive here, which is only going to play into Timo's hands. He's gone all the way to the right, had to come back across. He's not going to be quite set for the corner, although Adam done very, very well to keep the car all balanced. But there we go, just ahead, Carlos Montejoitis is now vulnerable as well. Cyril Bissay, bit of a twitch, and then to turn one there, huge little mistake, which has just gifted Nico Pantola a free position to work
actually,
on.
Cyril got through on Nico on the home straight because of his attack boost and lost it on the exit of turn 2, which is a shame.
Right, there we go then. Well, he's still got another 2 minutes of that, so open to try it again. But this man, he was so far ahead, and it's just sort of fallen out of favour for him. Adam Brown now hunting him down. Less than a second is the gap. So Curtis is going to start having his mirror filled up by that Sim Broadcast car. And then you're also going to have Timo Sarkinen just behind. Of course, both drivers no longer with the boost, but Mika Sarkinen has also taken a boost. So it's Nico Pantola actually topped up fresh on boost, ready to try and make an effort back on Cyril Bissay, who has gotten back through again. Carlos Montejoitis just there, vulnerable down the start finish straight, running out of his attack boost now, so he is also out with 1 to go. But Adam Brown pulling into the inside, trying to throw him off, and it has forced Carlos to run a tighter line. And as a result, Adam with the better exit is able to get the jump out the corner. Is he able to get there? He's just a long time being given the room, forcing Carlos to go defensive. So Adam swoops round the outside if he can keep it on the track like he does there. Fantastic. That's wheel to wheel, absolutely close. Both drivers twitching. Adam's hit the bump and has actually gone off the track, which has gifted Timo Sarkinen the position and allowed him through. And Timo Sarkinen very, very optimistic, has now jumped through onto Carlos Montejoitis, but Carlos has absolutely thrown it back up the inside with an open door defensive move, and it's been an incredible sort of fight back there. But Timo Sarkinen now with the slipstream all the way down towards turn 10, fastest bit of the track here. He will be doing about 270 Ks Both drivers off throttle. Adam Brown really closing in there, but decided against going for the move. Run slightly wide there for Kellis, but all drivers have made it through, but he struggled out the corner. He's going to be vulnerable now towards turn 1. The long run down the start-finish straight. See, there we go. Timo Sarkkinen got their energy, moves to the inside, and is just coasting on past there, while both drivers lifted off, coasting on the brakes. With the braking as well, Adam's taking the move up to the inside and is now done that as well. Carlos Montoya has had a nightmare of turn 1. 2 cars going past. And a fantastic
I can't believe
job.
He didn't take the attack boost on the previous lap with all this going on. I mean, he's just lost 2 places, and he could have completely avoided that by having that attack boost. He has to go through the attack boost now, surely. He doesn't want to let these 2 run away. He has to go for it.
Surely. With the fighting going on ahead of him, he's not going to lose a huge amount of time if he goes for it. But he's not. He is gone for it. He's gone for it. He's dove in. He's got 3 laps to go. That's all.
There you go. Imran's got through.
Yeah, it's Carlos Montoya has been very. His usage of this has been poor. He will get past Imran Mazard there. As we see, he's getting back, but he's lifted off. Imran's just gone a little bit more throttle and has just pulled himself past. Imran has another 3% energy. That's practically an entire lap on him. And up ahead, Gabor is just in a world of his own. And Carlos Montoya is just struggling with the braking as well. Gotten all twitchy and has allowed Imran Mazard to pull away from him. I mean, are we going to see a surprise Imran podium? He's closing in on the guys ahead. He's got the energy to do it. And he's coming out of nowhere to really turn the screws on these 2 who are fighting hard. Timo Sarkkinen wants this podium position. He wants it really bad. And this is just gifting Imran Mazar time, hand over fist. All the drivers behind are closing in on this fight. If Timo keeps going the way he is, this is going to be a huge fight for second place.
But yeah, forget about a surprise podium for Imran. This is a surprise podium for Timo Sarkkinen. I'm not sure he's expected himself to be in contention for a podium. He's got Adam Brown breathing down his neck. But Adam, look at his energy situation. He's got 1.5% shy of what Timo Sarkkinen has. I think Timo is in a pretty safe position right now, just a lap and a half to go. That's plenty of energy. Adam will be a bit more worried potentially, but Gabba in the lead now with a huge advantage. Somehow he's managed to open up 5.5-second gap over these guys behind, but Timo Sarkkinen is driving the race of the season for himself here. Absolutely brilliant stuff as they come onto the start-finish line. Gabba is onto the final lap, so too now goes Timo Sarkkinen, Adam Brown, Imran Azar, Carlos Montiutis, and Nico
Imran's
Bertola.
going for the inside of Adam. He's absolutely sent it. Has he made it? Has he made it stick? He's held it. Both drivers doing very tight, pulling the handbrakes, and he's run out a bit too far, unfortunately. But Adam taken by absolute surprise, and Timo Sarkkinen will be loving this. Also, Carlos Montiutis has had Nico Bertola throw it up the inside in turn 1 as well. He's now holding the line round the outside. Carlos trying to force the move at the back on the inside and has managed to get back ahead, but left the door open, and Nico's still there, but he's able to just hold it out. And now, but that was a absolutely fantastic move there. I believe Daniel Ballard's about to run out of energy, about half a lap short, as we see Gabba coming in now to 10 and 11. There we go, in for the final time, making it through. No pressure on this man. He is 6.5 seconds ahead up the way. So it's full opportunity. Nico Bertola's sent it on Carlos Montiutis. Will he hold it? We don't know. We'll find out shortly. Imran Mazar's screwed up, but Gabba has gone across and has taken the win here. Imran's absolutely ruined it and has dropped 2 positions. Vulnerable on another one. Timo Sarkkinen, the surprise of the day, it takes a fantastic second place. Adam Brown sort of running out of energy just across the line. Nico Bertola taking 4th. Carlos Montiutis 5th. Imran Mazar's had a nightmare finishing 6th. Cyril Bassett nearly got him, finishing 7th, with Rody Krompus in 8th position. Final couple cars coming on round shortly. Where are we at? Scorn Roberts, it will be the last car, currently in last. Mika Sarkkinen, down the back straight, Daniel Ballard there,
Ballard's
right
not got
out
any
of
energy left
with
here,
Lorenzo
Tom.
Lucidi right behind him.
Lorenzo's going to get him.
The move. He's going to get him.
Yeah.
There you go. Moves him out the way. Lorenzo Lucidi has gotten through to take 10th place, but they both ran out of energy. They're not going anywhere. I think none of them have energy.
I think they've run out of energy and they're going to push each other to the line.
Run out of energy.
Stuff.
So this means it is very possible to come from behind. Is he going to get it?
There we go.
There we go. The two
Brilliant
of them
stuff.
managed to cross the line. Very close behind. Mika Sarkkinen just misses out on the 10th position, and Scorn Roberts will be coming on round to bring up the rear very, very shortly. There he is. Scorn Roberts, the creator, has finished. But your podium, your top 3 for today is Gabagor, Timo Sarkkinen, and Adam Brown finishing out a rather hectic final race of the season. This series never fails to deliver. And once again, I think this has been one of the most chaotic races we've had here, Pete. What's gone on?
Oh, lots of things happened, but forget about chaos. I think that was one of the best races we've seen. It wasn't the closeness at the front across start finish, but the battles up and down the field and the stories that we've got here now. Teemu Sarkkinen doing the job for Zafiralis now on the podium. Adam Brown, a well-deserved third place in the end. He worked really, really hard in the build up to this event. Smashed qualifying. Unfortunately, didn't get the pole position. That went to Imran in the end. But yeah, on the day, Gabba did the job and stole the feature race win in the end. But I think for me, the standout performance there has to be that Zafiralis car in P2. Teemu Sarkkinen, what a drive from him.
Yeah, it was fantastic. He's been a man who he's done great improvement as the events have gone on, the series gone on. He's really worked hard and gotten a lot quicker and really honed his pace. And so it's been fantastic to see that improvement from him across the championship. It's really great to see different faces coming to the front here, and it's all been absolutely chaotic through the front there. Front and back across the field has been an incredible final race of the season here. Of course, Imran Mazar winning the championship, so congratulations to him for that one. And I'm assuming we'll have people coming to join us for interviews shortly, Pete. But Pete, I know you've been here for all of the races and you've been in the background, but how's it been commentating for your first one this year?
Yeah, hectic but brilliant. I think this is the most innovative series that currently exists in Need for Speed. So to finally get the chance to jump behind the microphone has been a bit of a treat. It's great fun, as you said. I think that the drivers find it an immense challenge, but that's what it's in the name. The word challenge is in the name. It's supposed to be difficult. So the drivers that turn in week out, do the preparation, put in the laps to give us the show that we end up with is the reason we love this series. And the innovation from NDR and Michael Malik of Master Race Car to put the series together, and obviously the support from Scowen in making it technically possible to run this series has been fantastic. And I love the way that this package has come together. It's an absolute treat to be a part of, and I hope that the viewers and the drivers and everybody involved enjoyed themselves, because I think it's been super. I think it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's always a great one. The differences that we have up and down the track. You see a lot of new drivers do come in and check it out. And it's great to watch them progress as we go through the championship. I mean, today's race, I know, yes, Gabor has struggled all season. Didn't start the first round, qualified really strongly, and then ended up bailing out due to some issues on his end. And then also didn't participate in the second event, but rounding out sort of the first race here today, he didn't have the strongest of results for the feature. What am I saying? He won the feature with fastest lap. I'm being silly. So he's taken a double win today, winning the feature and the sprint. Didn't get fastest lap in the feature. That went to Nico Pantola, but he was very close. I think he was second fastest lap overall. So very, very close at the front. Had fantastic pace today and really put that on display. A little bit of differences and not quite there overall, but fantastic to see from him with the pace on the racing. Of course, Timo Sarkkinen, a man who I think we can safely, I don't think he'd mind me saying this, I didn't expect him to be to take that second place at that podium, and I'll be honest, I don't think he expected himself to take that podium. So, but fantastic job from him, and I think he got a bit of a lifeline from the squabbles between Adam and Imran with a couple of laps to go. Really dropped Adam all the way back off and took the pressure off him, so he was able to bring it on home. But I think we're going to be having some interviews shortly now, Pete, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think we'll bring in Timo Sarkkinen to begin with, because as you said, I think that was the standout performance in race 2. Honestly, and let's bring him in. Tom, have you got a question for Timo?
Yeah, Timo, just want to start by saying fantastic result there in race 2. I've just said on the chat, I'm sure you wouldn't mind me saying we didn't expect you to be up there. I don't think you expected yourself to be fighting for a podium, but talk us through that second race and how was the fight when Adam started putting the pressure on and right then, how was it? What was going through your head?
Yeah, thank you, first of all. I think I got a bit lucky there with the guys fighting in front for P2. I managed to sneak through and pull a bit of a gap and managed to hold on in the end. But before that, when Adam came through, I was sure I was out of the podium contest, and for some reason we came to get the last boost at the same time with Adam, and I managed to catch him by over a second during the boost. I was a bit surprised by that, my own pace with the boost, but it turned out pretty well in the end.
Yeah, well, I think that was absolutely brilliant performance there, Timu. You mentioned that you felt like you were lucky. Well, at the end of the day, you have to have a little bit of luck to get these sorts of results. So, you've got to be pretty pleased with it. How did you think that the attack boost was working in kind of the favour of the drivers here at this circuit? Was it more effective here? It looked a lot more effective here than at previous rounds. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think that it was better at this track. We had lots more straights and fast corners. The other tracks were much more like stop and go, so the boost didn't affect that much.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that you enjoyed it here a lot more than at previous rounds. I think this is a super achievement from yourself. And what would you make of the championship as a whole? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's my first time here, and I think I'll be back next year.
That's great to hear, Tim. I mean, we've seen you improve all the way through, and I think it crowns off a great season of improvement for yourself. I think just sort of a final note, your final couple laps when you got ahead of Adam, what was going through your head when Imran made the lunge onto Adam into turn 1 and it sort of gave that gap for you? What was your thinking as soon as you saw that in the background?
I was just looking at my mirrors the whole last 2 laps and hoping that they wouldn't catch it. Yeah, they did it.
Well, thank you very much, Timu, and congratulations on a well-deserved P2 in the feature. We'll hopefully see you in future rounds of the MRC E-Challenge. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Who should we bring in next, Tom? We've got a big choice today. Lots of drivers queuing up. Maybe it might be worth talking to Adam Brown, who got P3 in the feature. Adam, you couldn't quite get the championship in the bag. That went to Imran this year, but you've got to be happy with your performance today. You absolutely smashed it in the first few duels, but talk us through it.
Oh yeah, I was much happier with my sort of pace and my just general. I was generally much faster at this track than I was at the previous tracks, and I was happy with my pace, happy with my ability around there. That was so close, that final duel up until the last corner. It was something like there was less than a tenth in it, that's for sure, and I went a bit wide, so I'm quite frustrated about that, but it wasn't so important. Sprint race, that was just a total major error by me. I knew where the pit lane was. I just had a sort of panic stations. Oh damn, what am I doing? Is my pit stop correct? What's going on? And I just, I should have been a bit more proactive and a bit more ready. But I think ultimately I could have won that race, but that was a bit of a fail. And race 2, again, I think I could have won that. I had a sort of awkward contact with Sobis. We both went. Sobis went really deep into the final chicane, and he had to slow down quite quickly. I thought I was just sort of giving him the outside, but because he went too deep, he sort of slowed down really quickly, and then I sort of went into the side of him. So I would have been about like that cost me about 10 seconds, and I was 10 seconds behind Gabor, so it would have been close at least.
Yeah, Adam, I was going to say you've done that final chicane, bit of a bane of your weekend. A big mistake in the qualifying, a big mistake there with the sprint, and then also unfortunately again in the in that section. I noted in going into it, it takes a lot of commitment through there. So you were definitely one of the fastest there. It was definitely looking very close. But one of the big sort of talking points I saw, Sarkin, of course, got that fantastic feature race, taking that second place there. You were definitely hot on hunting him down until Imran Mazar did a bit of a lunge on you into turn one. Talk us through what you're thinking through those final few laps there. What was going through your head?
Mostly just sort of keep it clean. I'll be honest, my race was fully focused on just making sure I was being careless, because we're fighting for second in the championship. So as soon as I knew I'd sort of worked out that I was beating him, and as soon as I was in front of him, it was like, I just want to bring it home. Of course I was going for second, but I wasn't going to make any stupid defensive moves or anything like that. So I was just going to let Imran go, but I think he tried a bit too hard for it and made a little mistake. I was also worried about my battery situation. I was doing amazing for the first half of the race, and then after my contact, I knew that I needed to push if I wanted to get a good result, so I started pushing, and I was fine. Like, I ran out exactly on the line, but it was cutting it fine.
I think you did a brilliant job there, and yeah, good that you, even while fighting, were conscious of your championship position in both the drivers and teams. That was really fascinating. Just to round it up for yourself, what do you make of the 2024 edition of E-Challenger? Is it a series you've enjoyed?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's a bit different. I think it gives the sort of interesting format, the saving, and the interesting car. I mean, Gabor is just insanely fast in most cars, and it's nice to have something a bit different that maybe I can keep up with him in. And yeah, the tracks are brilliant. This track, the Portland track, I found, because we're sort of limited on objects, I found those sort of sleeping policemen a bit deadly. There were definitely a couple of them. I pointed them out to Michael before the race, but obviously not enough time to change the layout. And yeah, I mean, I had a couple of moments with those sleeping policemen, but apart from that one tiny little niggle, the layouts are fantastic. Like, the car is great fun to drive, layouts are fantastic, and it's an NDR league, so it's got all the proper like safety cars and all that stuff. So yeah, it's great fun.
No, thank you very much, Adam. It's been a pleasure having you here. It's been great watching you. So we're now going to be bringing into the box our 2024 E-Challenge champion, Imran Mazar, the man who's won it provisionally on the current results by 37 points. A rather dominant display for the first 3 rounds of the championship. Struggled a bit here today, but did the job he needed. Imran, how have you been? Talk us through your event today.
Hello. First of all, thanks to Michael and NDR for organizing this championship. Yeah, it's been really fun throughout the whole season, and yeah, I had a lot of fun, a lot of good battles this year with Adam, Nico, Gabor, as well as Carolis. Yeah, which was good. And yeah, so this race was I was a bit ill prepared, to be honest. The quali was pretty good. Like, to be honest, Adam was like flying throughout the whole sections of quali. Like, I was expecting him to get pole, but I think he messed up that last section of the lap, which he probably could have gotten pole. But yeah, I was surprised to get pole then. But yeah, when it started raining in the sprint race, that's when I totally forgot where to brake, and that's where I ran wide, and I think Gabor and Adam passed me, and then got stuck behind Timo Sarkkinen, and yeah, I think that was my race, and I just pretty much like brought it home to fourth. And then the feature race, yeah, that normally which is normally my strong point. I kind of like messed it up a bit because I think everyone went with like R2 tires, and I went with like the softer R1 tires, which were probably the wrong choice because they heated up quite a lot, and it required not only energy management but as well as tire management as well. So, which made the whole race a bit more difficult. But overall, yeah, I think the pace was there. Like I saw I was catching up to P2, I think. Gabor was too far away, but yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, I think I was pretty happy with the pace overall, but the end result wasn't there, I guess.
Well, congratulations on another championship in E-Challenge. You had to wait a little bit. You had to steal it back off of Gabba. But what do you think the development of the E-Challenge as a series, Imran? Do you think that we've reached a point where we found the sweet spot, or tell us about your enjoyment or not of the E-Challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I know last season, like that. I mean, the car from last season compared to this season has changed a bit. I think like there's some setup changes that you could make this season which you can't last season, which like I think you could go lower with the right height, and the setup has changed a bit. So in terms of like the sweet spot and like what is the most optimal setup, like I think there definitely is way more to be like found, like more time to be found. But in terms of energy saving, like, yeah, I mean, and well, with energy saving, I guess it's just more of just like consistency. I think that the overall like I don't know what you say, philosophy, I guess, behind like how I do the feature race is just mainly based on like consistency. You don't like lock up the brakes, make sure you get the most out of the traction zones, and yeah, I mean. But yeah, overall, like yeah, definitely there's a lot of time to gain. I mean, like with anyone, like every driver is different, so they have different driving styles, different preference on setups. So definitely, yeah, there's a lot of time to gain. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for your insight, Imran, and congrats again. We do have the provisional final championship standings up on the screen. 243 points to you, ahead of Adam Brown and Carolus, who we'll speak to. We'll drag Carolus in actually to have a chat. We've got the top three in the championship in the commentary box now. Carolus, talk us through a little bit about your race this evening. It was difficult from your side today.
Oh yes, for sure. It was difficult. I wasn't as well prepared as I was previously. Well, during practice, I was enjoying this quite a lot actually. So I thought I am okay, at least okay. But yeah, once we started doing quali laps, I saw that nope. I guess like fast and sweeping corners aren't my strong points. I don't have the guts to commit yet, I guess, in going into them at such speeds. I'm often slower at the fast corners, so yeah, it was quite difficult. The start of the sprint race was on wets, so that was also interesting. It was more difficult to get a good start, and I wasn't practicing much on it. I had a few hits on the first corner, so yeah, after that I just was trying to climb as high as I could. Then for the second race, I once again tried to. So the start of the line wasn't great, but during the first few laps I tried pushing it more. Like I was completely overspending my energy limits. Well, not limits, targets. But I tried to go up the order as fast as possible, so I can have like a free track, so I can set my own pace there. I think it worked okay. Maybe I was a bit too aggressive on the first laps to get up in front. But overall, I don't think it was a big mistake for me. It's just that my overall pace was lacking compared to others. So it's not like. I mean, it would have been like something like this either way, I think. And of course, the incident with Adam was quite unfortunate. I'll go check the replay. I'm interested whether it was a racing incident or was it my fault, because he had the inside to the left-hander. I tried keeping with him over there, but then I realized because I am so wide into the left-hander, I have way too much speed into the right-hander. So if I were to keep to the track limits, I knew I will either hit him quite hard or I will push him off the track. So I went a bit to the right, or I went into the tires, but that didn't help. I still hit him. Initially, I thought the hit wasn't too hard, but like 1 or 2 seconds afterwards, I see him looking backwards in the mirror. So that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a calamity, but I think it's all okay in the end. The only other thing I just wanted to ask you about quickly, Carlos, was in the feature race, we noticed you waited quite a long time to take your attack boost. For your first attack boost, I thought you probably waited about 2 laps too late. Maybe 2 laps too late, which left you vulnerable to Gabba coming on through, and then you just weren't able to catch back up to him. Just sort of what was your thinking with your first attack boost timing?
Well, because I already overspent on my initial laps, I didn't really care about boosts. I was seeing boost as a nuisance because I will be losing time going through it, and I will not be able to properly use it. I did try using it for energy saving purposes actually, because I think mid-race, maybe 2/3 after from the start, I changed my brake balance from 43, which is already quite rear biased, as in you have to take some care not to lock up the rear. So I went down to 37 to help me recharge. But that's a double-edged sword, because then it's even harder to brake efficiently and not lose traction at the rear. So yeah, my boosts were just, as I said, more of a nuisance, just trying to hold on to my charge targets.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Now, moving on, next to join us in the commentary box will be Cyril Basset. Cyril, quite a hectic, action-packed race here today. Some opportunistic moves from yourself. Please talk us through how you found this event.
Well, to be honest, on both races I messed up the start. Wet tires were a bit difficult to handle. I lost a lot of time in the early stages trying to run around the track, and I think I would run wide at the last turn also at some point. So got way back to P8, I think. After that, went alright. In the feature race, I hit Dunbala, I think, and spun around. So I was dead last and had to climb back. Fortunately, my energy strategy was on point. I managed to get 4 places back while still keeping under my energy target. So that was quite good. Then I managed to have a bit of a fight with Nico using the attack mod. In the end, it didn't quite pay off because he also used his boost to get away from me. And I almost managed to get Imran at the end when he messed up in the last turn, but fortunately that didn't happen.
Yeah, well, thank you for your insights, Cyril. We hope you enjoyed the fourth installment of E-Challenge in its kind of modern guise. Yeah, give us a quick summary of like what you thought of the kind of the series as a whole.
Well, it's really interesting. It's obviously quite different from combustion engine cars. I came to like the car we use. It's difficult to drive, but it's really interesting to try and master it. Although I haven't mastered it at all compared to the guys in front. And the energy saving part is quite interesting as well. If I had to pick one thing I didn't like that much in the series, it's the qualifying duels actually, because unfortunately most of the field stays idle during that time. But other than that, it was really nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
To which I reply, get good if you don't like the duels. Get in the top 8 and then they'll be good. So yeah, we like the duels, but you know, it's fair enough. It's a fair comment. That's a lot of the field can find themselves being a bit idle. So yeah, fair comment. We've brought in Mika Sarkin, and Mika, just a quick comment if you don't mind on your event today.
Thanks for having me. It was interesting time for me coming to this race on equal points with Scour, and by my calculation, I should stay ahead of him now.
Well, we have the actual results of that. If you want to actually confirm the results of that, let's have a look. We've got the full Drivers' Championship standings on our screen. And it doesn't look like it, unfortunately. It looks like Scour is tied on points and somehow ends up in P10.
I think Scour's ahead simply because he has, of the results you've had, he's had a best result over than you
finishing
have.
Position. Yeah. Round 2 feature race apparently is the reason why you're tied on points, but unfortunately finishing P11 behind Scour. But there we are. Sorry to bring that news to you live on air, Mika.
Fair enough. It's fair enough. We had a good race, and we, all the season we were quite equal on pace, so I had good time racing with him.
Well, there you go. Any final comments before we talk to the man himself, Michael Malik?
Well, I just want to thank the organizers for the whole event, and I like this whole season, and probably will be coming back next time around.
Brilliant, thank you. I know it was quick, but appreciate your thoughts there, Mika. Michael, the microphone is yours. What do you want to say?
Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Great. So yes, I'm happy with the way this season did turn out. It was fewer attendance in the final race, but that's expected considering the real life events happening right now. So yeah, with the amount of drivers we had tonight, it was fantastic racing, and I'm really glad how this year did turn out. So it's safe to say that there should be some season 5 of the E-Challenge in the future. Hopefully on time, as we were a little bit behind this year. Usually we start in January, and we had to move the dates a bit this time. So yeah, in about half a year maybe we could be together again. And as this is the end of this particular season, that is officially, I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in this race, starting with Sam Broadcast for making a fantastic broadcast from all official rounds of the E-Challenge. Also to the New Dimension Racing for the great overseeing of these races, including all the stewards. One of them asked me to mention them specifically, so thank you all stewards, and thank you Jarda especially. And also thanks to all the drivers who did attend. It's great to see that with all the hard work we've put into this series, people are actually interested in running this very unusual kind of racing, which is not for everyone, I would say. And last but not least, I'd like to thank to the developers of the Live for Speed for being with us and helping us out with some things that had to be done to make the series possible. So yeah, thanks everyone who was with here, and see you very soon, I would say.
Well, Michael, I just want to say, sort of round off, thank you for coming up with the idea of this. I know the change in the attack boost has been great. It's been fantastic to see how that's been implemented. So I think that's all from us here today. So really, thank you, viewers. Thank you all for joining us here for the season finale of the 2024 season here with Master Race Cars E-Challenge, sanctioned by NDR and brought to you here by us here at Sim Broadcast. Thank you all the guys in the race control for overseeing today's event, which has been quite chaotic. And thank you, Pete and Elmo, for supporting me on the back end with the commentary here. And other than that, thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are. And but yeah, hope to see you all back for next year's event.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.